wine tasting, so you're feeling pretty good. I know some of you are still pretty dirty from the ABT, but it sounds like everyone had a great time. And even if you didn't, and you're just joining us this evening, you're in for a real treat. So, I'm a huge football fan.
Yeah.
A Jets fan, unfortunately. And we still kind of play football. So even if you're not a football fan, you're really in for a treat this evening because we have the opportunity to sit and have a conversation with the GOAT. You know, when you say the GOAT, we always talk about it in multiple forums and about multiple people. This is the GOAT. So I just say, everyone, please join me in welcoming Jerry Rice. Your whole background before you came in, but I wanted to give it while you're up here because we got a lot of great football fans in the house, but we have a lot of people who are like, oh, football, yeah, I know something about that.
Are we here to talk football?
A little bit, man, a little bit. But we'll take this in whatever direction you want to go in.
That's
So it's up to you. I am not the show. You're the show. You're the show. So let me give you a little bit of Jerry's background.
22,895 yards, 1,500. 37 records, 13 Pro Bowls.
All right, there's that. Don't forget, how many Super Bowls?
Three. I went to 4, but I was able to win 3. It's because of you guys.
Well, good deal, man. Let's go back to the beginning, where it started, right? Crawford, Mississippi, right? Think about way back then, just a few short years ago, right? And think about before you became that Jerry Rice that we know. What from a family perspective, a community perspective, a school perspective, did people see in you long before you became what we see and know today?
You know, I was like Forrest Gump back in the day. I was just running around. I didn't know the reason why I was running. My father was a bricklayer, and he was the provider for the family. So, I think I had learned about hard work and dedication from him because he would take me to work with him during the summer. And it was very demanding work. He was a bricklayer. And I would be up on this scaffold that's about 20 feet in the air. My brothers would toss the bricks up, and I would snatch them out of the air, and I would stack the bricks. So there's this myth about me learning how to catch footballs from catching bricks. That's not true. Because think about this, I'm 20 feet in the air, and if I, and I'm always on these young receivers about catching footballs with their body. You gotta have confidence in your hands. And I think that's the reason why, I was so successful because I could see that ball, and I felt like that ball actually just belonged to me when it was in the air, and I would just go up and attack the ball. But Mississippi just taught me about hard work and dedication. I didn't know, to be honest with you, that I would be able to play professional football. Around my sophomore year, I think I decided not to go to class one day, and I was hiding behind this building. I had no idea that the principal was doing his rounds. Walked up behind me, scared me, noticed I could run real fast. He bring me to his office. I think I got maybe about 10 lashes or something like that. Then he wanted me to go out for the football team. I go out for the football team, and I'm not the most gifted athlete, but I said, well, if I really work at this, maybe I can become a starter. So this whole thing about being the greatest and all of that, I think it was just that I was destined to make life better for my parents, my brothers and sisters, and also I was inspired by the fans.
Okay. All right. So Think about mentors back then. It sounds like that little whipping that you got was pretty inspiring.
Yeah,
Were there other mentors back then that really got you focused on catching the football, running fast, and doing your thing?
I had a favorite team. And this is really hard for me, guys. This hurts me to my heart. It was the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, because when you think about Roger Staubach, Tony Hill, Drew Pearson, all of these great players, and it was like America's team. That was it back in the day. And actually, I thought I was going to be a Dallas Cowboy because what happened, San Francisco traded with the New England Patriots to get down to that 16th spot. And Dallas had the 17th. So they had the 17th pick. And I thought I was going to get picked by Dallas, but San Francisco changed that, and I got a chance to go to the greatest franchise ever.
Bang, bang.
I heard that bang, bang. Bang, bang.
So think about it, right? From back then, probably wasn't a lot of tape on you. And tape was shared with the teams, and the teams could hold on to that tape. What did you hear about you once you got with the 49ers?
This is the most amazing thing ever. I think San Francisco, they were in New Orleans to play the Saints. The head coach, Bill Walsh, he was flicking the channels and he noticed someone running across the television, catching the ball and running away from everybody. So he goes back to the scouting department when they got back to San Francisco. They said, we need to look at this guy named Jerry Rice from Mississippi Valley State University, small, predominant black school, HBCU. And if he was not flicking the channels, I probably wouldn't have got drafted. Because, you know, playing at a small school like that, you don't get all the recognition like, say, Alabama, UCLA, Notre Dame. And I used to joke around with, because Joe Montana from Notre Dame, Ronnie Lott from USC. Don't you guys realize those guys probably took a pay cut to come to the NFL? I'm serious, because those schools, and we were talking about NILs and stuff like that, just amazing schools and with a lot of money, and we didn't have that at Mississippi Valley State University.
So let's go down the NIL path. So you think about Mississippi Valley State University, small school, flicking the channel. Hey, who's this guy? Let's get to know him a little bit more. How different, if you were entering, here's your crystal ball question. If you were entering, college today, how different do you think your path would have been with NIL? Starting at a small college.
You know, I believe things happen for a reason. It was meant for me to go to Mississippi Valley State University. And, you notice with the NILs and stuff like that, these guys are jumping all over the place. You can't build men anymore because if you don't have that starting position, now you can jump into the portal and you can go somewhere else. And I think that's the reason why Nick Saban said, you know what, I'm out of here now, because you can't really build men anymore because these guys are just going to jump around. Yeah. And I always felt that you should give players money, a portion of the money, but the most important thing is for when you're in college to get your education. Right. That's the most important thing. And now it's like you got some guys making $8 to $10 million at the age of 23. That's a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. And it's a little bit different, but I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah. So other part of your crystal ball question, think about small schools, right? And today with NIL and people bouncing, go there for a year and they move on to something else. What do you think is going to happen to these small school programs that have great players, but they quickly lose them because of NIL?
What I'm thinking now is that, you get some of these top guys going to these small HBCUs now. Because now I think that opened the door where you could go anywhere and still be seen and get drafted. Because I still have to pinch myself because I'm like, oh, I knew I was going to be somewhere in the first round, but I didn't know exactly where. And I know your team is the Jets, and I hate Al Toon. There's no way Al Toon should have went before me. There's no way Eddie Brown should have went before me. Right? Wait, I know that's your guy. I know that's your guy, and I got a lot of respect for him and all of that. Both those guys. But yeah, you know, it's yeah.
So it sounds like you're saying you should have been a Jet.
No.
I would have turned that entire organization around. I know it's hard on you, and even when Aaron Rodgers came to the Jets and stuff, I thought he might be that missing piece for you guys. But I just don't know, man. I don't know, man. What do you have to do?
Hey, let's get back to the question.
They need more than one person.
Yeah.
They
What
need
do you
a
have to do, man? I'm serious.
You tell me. What do we have to do?
whole new
I think it
team.
started with the organization. Because I feel like we had the ideal organization. We had the greatest owner, Eddie DeBarlo. We had the greatest coach, Bill Walsh. We had the greatest coaches. All of that would feather down into the locker room. And that was a standard. And the standard was to win for that city of San Francisco. And if we lost, man, it was like devastation in the Bay Area. It was like this fog that was over the Bay Area until the next season. And these guys get over football just like that now. Even if they play in the Super Bowl, it's like, what I'm wearing. What I'm gonna post on TikTok. What I'm gonna post on IG. So it's so different. I used to cry like a baby because I just felt that you had to win it all. Not just get to the playoffs. A lot of teams are just happy to get to the playoffs. But we felt we had to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
And plus I had the greatest quarterback ever, Joe Montana.
Yeah.
And let me tell you guys a little something about Joe and I. If Joe was a female, we probably would have dated. That chemistry was just that good, you know what I'm saying? This guy knew my body, he knew my
Hey, let's go there. So, we're not there. Let's go almost there. So you played with Joe Montana.
Right.
You played with Steve Young.
Right.
What are the similarities and differences between those two
And
boys?
I know I put both of those guys into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So, give me the ball. Okay, Joe was more of a timing quarterback, so the ball was like already in the air before I came out of my route. Now, through practice and preparation, you learn the timing, all of that stuff. And if I had a 12-yard out, that's like at 8 yards, I'm already rolling that. The ball is already in the air. So it was the West Coast offense. It was all about timing. And when Steve Young came, Steve Young really hurt my stats. Because like when I announced the 22,895 yards, the 1,000, all of that. If Steve had stayed in the pocket, I probably would have doubled everything. The 208 touchdowns probably would have been 408 touchdowns. But Steve was more of a running quarterback, and the crowd would start cheering, and I'm thinking, okay, Steve is getting ready to throw me the ball. Actually, Steve was running by me. So, but to have two great quarterbacks like that came to work every day, that wanted to get better, because we had this perception that, hey, look, we're not just gonna just come to work and just get through it. We wanted to get better every day. And when you set a standard like that, that's a championship team.
Yeah. Okay. So I listened to him a lot of podcasts, and they always talk about the what was your welcome to the league moment, rookie? So if you flash back to your rookie year, what was your welcome to the league moment?
My welcome to the league moment was I was dropping football. And I had to deal with the media. I had to deal with the boos. The expectations of, everybody thought like, hey, this is, it's too big for him, coming from HBCU. But it was just that they handed me this big playbook. The terminologies for the West Coast offense, there are so many things that's happening in one route. No, if I got a slant route, which I go up 5 and I slant and turn my body to the quarterback. If the defensive back comes up and bump and run, it changes. And it took me a while where I felt comfortable with the offense, and once that happened, then I could just go and play football. Just like a little kid on the football field all over again, sandline football.
Okay.
But yeah, it was the boos. Because I knew I could catch a football. I could catch a football at nighttime, in the dark. Because I remember at Mississippi Valley State, we had these bunk beds, and I would just throw the ball up during the night, and I would just snatch it out of the air. And it just threw me back because I was like, man, what is going on? And the coach, with all of that going on, Bill Walsh, what he said to me, it still lives in me today, because he said, look, you're going to be the greatest football player to ever play the game. Now, this is when I'm dropping footballs and all of that, people booing me, all of those things. But he saw something in me, and it was just no way I was going to let him down. And I picked myself up, and I started working hard.
Okay. So with that in mind, you came into the team, and they were coming off the Super Bowl, right? Joe Montana, phenomenal quarterback, Bill Walsh, and you had a locker room full of leaders. So how do you fit into that? What role do you play?
You have to earn that. It's how you show up every day. I think in 20 years, I was 15 minutes. I think I was 15 minutes late for a meeting. And I got stuck in traffic and all that. And I'll never forget that, because I'm always on time. And with all these great leaders, it's like we took over the team. The coaches didn't have to do anything. Once they put that game plan together, we went and executed that game plan. If it was a play we didn't like, we still made that play work. So Bill Walsh and the coaching staff, they wanted us to take the team over. If we had a problem with a young guy, if a young guy's not living up to that standard, if he's not working hard every day, a veteran would pull him aside and say, hey man, look, we have a standard here. And we need you to work harder. So just accountability and all of that. And I think that's why we were the team of the 80s.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So speaking of that, it said that in practice you catch a pass, run to the end zone, run back to the sideline. So that speaks a lot to your character, speaks a lot to your work ethic. How was that seen by your teammates?
Well, at first they thought I was crazy. If they're like, why is this rookie running all the way to the end zone? We're gonna be out here forever. But then everybody else started doing the same thing. So now it becomes like, a situation where you catch it in a game, you're not surprised. Do you guys see a lot of receivers, like when they catch the ball, they're like, oh, like what's this? If you have done that over and over during practice, you expect to catch that ball. You already thinking about your next move. So I think, repetition was everything for me. And when you come to work every day and you're working hard, your teammates, they're gonna follow you. I felt I had to show up every day. No, not just to get through it, but the first one on the field, the last one off the field. So that's the mindset in with the San Francisco 49ers. And I think that's why we kept winning football games.
Yeah. So I'm a student of the game. I love, of course, my beloved Jets, but I like watching football. So think about the receivers that's in the game today. You got, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, C.D. Lamb. I'll give you some love, David. You got C.D. Lamb. You got JSN. Who do you like watching, and who do you think, their style of play is could transcend decades?
I think JJ, without a doubt, he can do it all. Yeah. And the reason why I say that is because he's not afraid to go across the middle. He's not afraid to go up and attack the football at his highest speed. He can run by you, but he can do it all. I know you guys. I keep saying back in the day. Steve Largent, Dwight Clark, Freddie Solomon, Drew Pearson, Tony Hill, Stallworth, all of these guys. I thought I was a mixture of all of those guys. So if I felt I had an area that was like a little bit weak, I was going to really work on that area. I remember watching Dwight Clark. Not the fastest receiver, but man, could he get separation. And I was like, I want to be able to run my routes just like that. To be able to get, separation. So I really worked on that, and that really helped me out a lot because, we were talking about defensive backs, and I don't like defensive backs, guys. We don't get along, and I went up against two of the best ever, with Deion Sanders. I hate to even say his name, and Darryl Green. Two of the fastest guys in the NFL. And guys, I'm talking about these guys. They could run probably like a 4.2. Now, if you chasing me, I'd probably go 4 flat because I know you're trying to hurt me. But these guys were so fast, so I wanted to dictate to those guys. I was going to attack them right from the start. If it was a run play, I'm trying to, body slam Deion Sanders. Because I want him to know that, hey, look, we're not going to be shaking hands. This is serious. Darryl Green, he was probably like a little gnat. He was you just knew he was somewhere around you and stuff like that. But those guys actually brought out the best in me, guys. I'm serious. It made me work because I knew I had to show up for my team and I had to get over it.
Yeah. So with that in mind, and this is no indictment of current state of football or anything like that, jersey swaps.
Man, come on, what are you talking about? Don't even hit me with it. Hey, I remember Deion wanted to shake my hand before a game and I'm slapping his hand away like, man, forget this right now. Yeah, after the game, yeah, you can shake hands, you can do all that. But to actually jersey swap? After someone just kicked your butt, you're gonna stand there and hold the jersey, of the team that beat you? No, that was not gonna happen. No.
I thought it was that one.
No, you see
right.
a lot of that.
Yes.
Yeah. Right? Don't you guys see a lot of hey, don't you guys see a lot of this interaction before a game? Now, I remember back in the day, come on. Hey, look, seriously. On Monday Night Football, when those two helmets would collide, it was all out war. Mm-hmm. You knew that. You guys wanted to see the hitting. Mm-hmm. You wanted to see that. I reference it to the Gladiator, Russell Crowe. He said, whatever comes into this arena, we have a better chance of survival if we stick together. That's the way we thought. That was our focus in every ball game. If we had to go to the Meadowlands, play the Jets, the Giants, that was our mindset. The second we get on the airplane, we're going to win.
Okay.
That was it.
I can't tell you were very competitive.
We're going to win. That's it. And guys, presentation is everything. Presentation is everything. Mm-hmm. Look what guys are wearing Now, when they get ready to jump on the airplane, sweats. We had to have a jacket. You could, the tie was optional. But yeah, we actually dressed for the occasion. And that was it. It sent a statement that we are ready to go, ready for business.
Okay. So with these, and you mentioned Jet, who do you see of these receivers, some of you in today's receiver? You see anyone like, okay, he's got a little bit of Jerry in him.
Is that a trick? You can't even hit receivers anymore.
Right?
You can't, man, can you imagine? Oh, okay. Just like I said, I would have doubled all my stats. But yeah, not taking any credit away from those guys. I think it's just a totally different football game now.
It is.
Yeah. And
It is.
guys, the Super Bowl, 9-0 at halftime?
Yeah.
On.
That was boring.
No, yeah. I knew that Seattle was going to win. But I just didn't think the game was going to be that bad.
They didn't show up to play. That's why. The other team didn't show up.
And that other team, the Patriots, they weren't ready.
Nope.
Speaking of that, what is going on with that head coach? Wait, which one? I'm talking about, no. Let's move on. Let's move on. If you're not on social media and everything that's happening, sometimes you just gotta move on.
Yeah, move on.
Yeah, but congratulations on that. And Sam Donald also, I think he got a second ring because he got married. Right? Yep.
So, Jerry, 11 straight years, at least 1,000 yards
That's
receiving.
crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
And out of 20 seasons, 14 of them you had 1,000 plus.
You want to race? We can still, I can still run. I don't know about your shoulder right now.
It's my shoulder. I can't run faster than back shoulder.
Yeah, 11 straight seasons, and I never kept up with the stats or anything like that until I became aware of it when Mike Evans, when he was getting close to breaking my record, and I'm like, wow, I didn't realize I had 11 straight seasons over 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
But that's all because of my teammates and the guys that I played with.
14 out of 20. Right over 1,000.
Crazy.
Man, that is crazy.
Yeah, it really is. Wow.
Go ahead.
But I never played football for the stats. I played football because I love playing football. And I knew I was at risk every time I stepped onto the football field. But it brought out the best in me. And I think it was also because of failure that pushed me. Because I never wanted to let anyone down. I never wanted to let my family down in Mississippi. I never wanted to let my teammates at Mississippi Valley down. Because I felt if I could go to the NFL, if I had success in the NFL, now these scouts gonna go in and look at these players and give them the same opportunity. And I felt like I could open that door. Yeah. So and guys, also, you hear athletes say they don't want to be role models. I want to be a role model. I want to set the standard. And all of those things. So it's like the way on the field, off the field, it's a certain standard. And that's something that I pride myself on.
So I know you appreciate and you love all the stats, all the things that you've accomplished, but is there a specific milestone, a specific you're leading.
Wait a minute, I got a good one for you.
Okay, tell me.
John Taylor.
Yep.
John Taylor had 2 touchdowns for the Rams, against the Rams. And I think they were over 80 yards. And guess who was the blocker? Me. I was the blocker. I was like, man, I was like a little kid. I'm running downfield trying to throw that block for John Taylor to get into the end zone. And that was really, that was a fun game to see him be able to accomplish something like that. I would say probably for me, it's when I broke Jim Brown's record. Jim Brown had 126 touchdowns, and I broke his record with 127. Then I named my foundation the 127 Foundation. We support the Big Sisters and the Martyrdines and all of that. But to break his record, I feel one of the greatest football players ever to play the game. It meant the world to me, and it's how I broke it. Monday Night Football against the Raiders at Candlestick Park. I needed 3 touchdowns. The first touchdown, I was lined up to the left side. They decided to bring like an all-out blitz. I mean, the entire house is coming. So all I have to do is beat that corner and then make the catch and score. In a situation like that, I want to get as close to you where I hear your heartbeat. Then I break it to the post. Once I do that, I know that the defensive back can recover. So that was 125. The second one was a reverse play, 126. And everything that, Bill Walsh told me, no, he said, look, when you run with the ball, get yak yards, straight downhill, no shaking and baking and stuff like that. That was 126. So we actually got taken out of the game because we felt like we had the game won, and then all of a sudden the defense, they got an interception. So George Seifert ran down the bench. He said, hey, look, do you guys want to do this right now? So Steve Young, he looked at me, I looked at him, I said, yeah, let's do it right now. Now we're running back on the field. So everybody in the stadium, they know exactly what is about to happen. I mean, Tim Brown was with the Raiders, and he was halfway on the field. He gave me that real, mean look, like you better not do this to us on Monday Night Football. So the ball is snapped. I'm going down the seam. Everything slows down. The rotation of the ball, I can see the ball spinning. Catching the ball at its highest peak, going up, not waiting on the ball, but going up to attack the football. So I go up, attack the football, and I'm trying to hold on for dear life. So I came down with the ball, then all of a sudden, the celebration with my teammates. 127, Candlestick Park. Family was there, the home base was there, and it's just something I'll never forget. Yeah, it was special. That was a special night. Now think about after a night like that, trying to come down from that. Maybe, unless you drink a lot of alcohol or something like that. But it's just like the stages that I have been on, the games that I have played in. I mean, it's hard to match that. I mean, because of, the Super Bowls and stuff like that. Imagine that stage. I think it was Super Bowl 29, and I remember Whitney Houston. She sung the national anthem.
Yep.
With Tampa, right?
Yeah. And I remember that because it was like, man, every ball game, every Super Bowl meant something to me. Because you win that first one, people say, well, okay, so did the second one feel any different? It's the only game. It's the opportunity of a lifetime. Nobody's gonna remember the loser. It's not like baseball, it's not like basketball, it's not like all of the other sports. You only get one chance. And it was special. And that's the ring I'm wearing. from Super Bowl 29, where I helped Steve Young get that monkey off his back. Because Steve felt like he had to win a Super Bowl to be considered as one of the greats to ever play the game.
Yeah, so talk about your preparation, because you're a tactician, right? You're focused. So think about, you have a Sunday game, and typically when you're out west, you're playing the second game. When does your preparation for Sunday begin? And what's your routine?
Okay, right after the ball game, the Monday I'm working out the soreness, and I always do extra, conditioning. Tuesday is the day off. That's when I take my kids to school and do all that. Most reporters knew that they could talk to me like early during the week, Wednesday, Thursday. Those are the best days. After that, you didn't want to talk to me. You didn't want to be around me. Because actually, my mindset is focused and I'm ready to go. So, get up that Sunday morning, can't eat anything, because if I probably ate something, I was gonna throw it up, because I have butterflies and all of that. Now with the big offensive linemen, defensive linemen, they ate anything that moved. It didn't matter to them. So always the first one to the stadium, get to the stadium, I had to weigh myself, because I had a target weight. And if I didn't weigh that, I would work out before my teammates got there. So if I wanted to be, say, 190, if I was 192, 193, I would do the Stairmaster to get down to the 190. This is before the game. And my teammates, they would come in like, Jerry, what is going on? Because I'm sweating like crazy and stuff like that. But that really played an important part, because now I can run all day. I was going to wear you out. There was no way you were going to be able to stay with me for 4 quarters. And I was telling you, I did my best work in the 4th quarter, because how I had trained during the off season. I would run the hill Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesday, Thursday was track work. Get started about 7. Wouldn't leave the gym. I mean, everything from 7 to 1 every day. So it's just no way that I was going to get tired in a ball game. And that's when I did my best work.
So speaking of your ideal weight, did it change based on the team you were playing, or was the 190, was that your number?
Well, then, I decided, it depended on the physicality of, say, the defensive backs. If they were more aggressive, I would put on more weight and put on more muscle, because I think one time I had gotten up to about 215. And I was just like, I guess they thought I was on something. It was just that I was spending a lot of time in the weight room and also just eating more, doing all of that, because I wanted to be more physical coming off the line of scrimmage. So it depended on the defensive backs.
Yeah. So, okay. So I was looking on your website and I saw this quote, so I'm going to read it, and I'm just curious to know, what can you share with the group about that? And it says, today I will do what others won't, so tomorrow I can accomplish what others can't.
That's just work. That's just waking up every day and giving everything 100%. Not taking any shortcuts or anything like that. Yeah, you're gonna have days where you don't want to get out of the bed, but I will always force myself out. And that would jumpstart my day. And so that's my approach now. Even life after football. I'm probably down to my target weight. I still work out every day, do all of that, and it's good.
Yeah, life is good.
It's good. It's really good.
So let's talk about life after football.
You're not gonna say anything about Dancing with the Stars, right?
I will not. Okay.
Okay.
No, but But think about that, right? One of the things that you do really well is to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So not necessarily about dancing with stars, but now you're learning something new, right? You're working different muscles. It gets back to being a technician, the work ethic, but just think about and share a little bit about how you get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
I think it was that failure that kept pushing me. You know, even when I did Dancing with the Stars, because they reached out to my agent and they say, hey, you know, we want Jerry on Dancing with the Stars, and so he called me and I told him, no way. There's no way I'm gonna go on that show, wear tight pants, a shoe that got a heel on it, and stuff like that. And I thought about it, I said, you know, in football, I wear the tight pants. I'm already wearing the tight pants, right? So I decided to do it, but I was able to reach a whole different demographic of people. I mean, people that might have not known me from sports. You know, because when I run through airports and I see moms and moms are looking at me and stuff like that, I don't know if they know me from football or if they know me from Dancing with the Stars. But the dead giveaway is when they do the little shimmy like that. I know him. I know they know me from Dancing with the Stars. And guys, that year, I was the second guy to do Dancing with the Stars because Evander Holyfield was the first guy. In that Super Bowl year, I think the Super Bowl was in Detroit. So at the hotel, they put down a dancing floor and all of that for me to come to that Super Bowl, you know, for the most valuable player. So I'm thinking, okay, oh my God, these guys just gonna rip me apart for, you know, for doing Dancing with the Stars. So I go into this room with all the most valuable players. I go into all of these guys and stuff like that. And these guys look at me and they say, man, you know what? You're doing pretty good on that dancing show, you know that? Because they were watching the show with their significant other. But to be able to reach a whole different demographic of people, and this guy named Drew Lachey, you know, if you guys don't know him, that's Nick Lachey's brother. So he was part of a band. You know, I didn't know anything about ballroom dancing. I'm gonna be honest with you. And there's 3 judges waiting to just cut your head off. So it's like, you know, you're working and you're trying to get this routine down, and now you got to sell it to the audience. And that was something I was always able to do in football too, because I wanted to sell it, you know, and I was able to get to the finals, came up a little short. You know I don't like losing. I get it. So Drew Lachey and I, we're gonna have a dance. Yeah, because he knew about how to dance. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I had to learn.
That fire's still in there, right? Still.
I don't like losing, man. Hey, guys, can I tell you guys? Can I share, you know, something with you guys? Whenever I lost a football game, it was devastation. My kids knew, my wife knew. They knew just to back off just a little bit. You know, he's gonna come back to being the old Jerry. But man, I just did not like losing. I felt like I just let everyone down. And you know, if we got to the playoffs, and you know, I lost in the first round or something, or I lost the championship game, that would stay with me till the next year. It was not like just getting over it like in today's football. Because you never know if you're going to get that opportunity to get back to that game. And I always felt that I had to win one of these. I had to, because when I first came into the league, I remember the 49ers, these guys wearing their Super Bowl rings. I didn't have one. So, so I was able to actually, free. Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. No Tom Brady or anything like that. But even Tom Brady said football is washed out now. It's different.
It is.
But
Different game.
a ring is a ring.
You got three of them.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about life after football. So you're in a room full of salespeople. So we work really hard to put business on the books, great partnerships, and we like to think we're the GOAT of
You are.
insurance.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting up here with the GOAT,
Yeah.
right?
But the GOAT is just not for athletes.
Yes.
It's for anyone that's inspired to be great and just want to get better. And that's what I love. When you wake up, you challenge yourself every day, you're accountable. You set the example. You show up, the leadership, leading your team, all of those things. It's the same thing with, what you do here at Nationwide.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about leadership.
So talk to us a little bit about Go Fuel.
Go Fuel
and
is
Jerry Rice, the businessman.
Well, I'm in the process of a raise right now. So, hey, anybody that want to invest in Go Fuel, come on over. GoFuel.com. We have an all natural drink. No sugar or anything like that, okay? We are in like 20,000 stores or more. And my daughter came to me and she asked me, because I think my daughter and her boyfriend at the time, they were in LA, and they were getting the jitters and the crash. So she knew I was, I'm not gonna put anything crazy into my body. She asked me, have you ever been part of an energy drink? I said, no, but I've been part of Muscle Milk back in the day and all of that. She said, if you were, what would you name it? I said, Go Fuel, the greatest of all time. But not just for athletes. It could be a doctor, lawyer, it could be, what you guys do for Nationwide and all of that. Anyone that's inspired to be great. Then I wanted that team concept. Because Eddie DeBarlo, what he was able to do with the San Francisco 49ers, I wanted to do the same thing with Go Fuel. So this is how everything got started. And, we've been around for about 5 years now and still going. Okay. But I could always use more money.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at you.
That's I got you.
Okay.
So lastly, and I just truly appreciate just being a part of, your aura, man, and being in a close place with you. And I think about the Professional Football Hall of Fame.
Oh.
And I think about 25,000 plus players playing in the NFL, and you're one of 379, one of 29 wide receivers. You were inducted in 2010. I can't imagine.
I cried like a baby. Because Emmitt Smith was also part of my class.
Yeah.
And I think they made that announcement on the NFL Network, if you're going to get in or be first ballot or whatever. And I'm sitting there and everyone is telling me, say, oh man, come on, you're going to be first ballot and stuff like that. But in my head, it was the same approach that I took about the draft. Because I never actually, I felt like I didn't know where I was going to get drafted or whatever. I didn't know if I was going to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame because I didn't want that disappointment, that big letdown. And you look at the draft now because a lot of guys, they have parties, they go to the draft, they do all of those things. But when you get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it's only a small selection of guys get that honor. And it's voted on by your peers and all of that. And I remember rehearsing my speech, doing all of that, and I would go to the theater and I would have my kids sit in the audience and my wife and whoever we had over, and I would just practice my speech over and over and over because I'm a little country. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little country and all of that. And I just wanted to basically thank everybody for putting me in that position. And, you know, where I was able to, you know, be one of those guys to go into the, you know, Pro Football Hall of Fame.
My man, I just truly appreciate just sharing the stage with you, and thank you for your insights.
You still want to raise?
Give me a couple weeks. And so, just thank you. Thank you for your insights, entertaining, great stories. I can listen to you all day. Appreciate your time.
My thing is just be yourself. Be yourself, have fun. I always enjoy people. Never thought, actually, because, and I'm still this shy guy, I never thought I'd be able to sit in front of so many people and have that presence where, you know, you're looking at me. Because I remember Bill Walsh. When Bill Walsh would walk into a room, he would take the air out of that room. Everybody would just go, just like that. And I said, you know what, I want to be just like that one day. I want to be able to just walk into a room and I want to take the air out of that room. But I'm still that same shy guy. But for some reason, it's like, when it's time to show up, that's what I like doing. I like to show up, and I just like to be me. And I like that interaction with you guys. And we good?
We're all good.
Okay, all right, I got one tradition here. All right. All right, when I say 1, 2, 3, I want you guys to say ghost. 1, 2, 3.
Go!
Come on, give me a little bit more than that. 1, 2, 3.
Go!
1, 2, 3.
Go!
Nationwide, you guys are the greatest of all time. So what we do now? Do we paso doble or
Can we get a
we
picture?
cha-cha?
Can we get a picture?
Tango?
Autograph?
So what we're gonna do, you're welcome to join us.
What?
So we got a carnival going on in the Canyon Green over this way.
Oh, okay.
So we got carnival games. We're gonna have a great time. We love to have you around.
Maybe I can take some pictures with you.
Yes, please. Oh my God,
See you over there. Hold that up.
Okay, I need to find something for an autograph.